My biggest takeaway so far, some things I found absolutely valuable in this course, there's tons, honestly, Sophie, there is the links and different tools and engines that you've introduced me to that I've never tapped into. And I've never tapped into them because I'm also not comfortable and savvy in like SEO. So I would always just avoid that anyways, because I'm like, I don't even really know what that means or how that works for my business. So I love how you introduce it, you explain it, and then you give me tools and resources to go and try it out, which I know now how valuable that can be for not even just my e-course, but everything else that I do when it comes to my programming. So I think that is absolutely valuable. I think one thing that would be good to know for people too is if they're going to do surveys, if there's a way you could introduce that earlier in the course. I loved, and I ended up using exactly your verbiage too. So I loved the template of that because it takes time to get that back from people because it's not just like a 2-second survey. It's good, probably 20 minutes of them putting information in, but it's so valuable. As soon as I got that back, it kind of unstuck me and allowed me to really figure out where do I need to take this course that I'm doing with you? Where do I need to take all this information and transform it? So that was a really good pivoting point for me when it came to this course. A suggestion I'd probably have is, as now that we've gone through it all, it'd be valuable to have a workbook. So I know that you provide downloads with each section, but for some people like myself, who's like very A-type personality and very wants to be very organized, if I had a document that I could download and print or like even do an e-doc on, I'd feel very prepared with your session. I knew all I had to do was flip to these pages because it's already been printed up and ready to go. In that workbook, you could probably even do like a section where it's just your tools and resources because they're so valuable, or a section just for your templates. So that could be a suggestion of things that you may want to. You already have it ready. It's like if you could put it into one document. I also think that drawing a connection for people from one, like doing the survey helped me when it came to creating the title for my content, which then allowed me to test it in the SEO. And then doing my just recent, doing my competitor analysis allowed me to realize the power of why I want to use SEO, even just for the titles of the modules, because it makes me want to get to the next module and read it. And it appeals to me. It's not just financials or time or, it's just so boring. So I think you do very good job in it being sequential, and that if we do it as a client, the first step, it totally bleeds into the second and the third and the fourth. So there is a very logical reason of why you want to do this course from one end to the next and not dabble in between.
Thank you
If
so
that
much for
helps.
that feedback. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And actually, it is on my to-do list to create that workbook because it's just obvious that that's a natural next step. So thank you for bringing that up.
I think even as I've been going through each of these processes, the one thing that's been really nice with this course is there's a bit of accountability of like, I need to just put something down on the paper. I don't have to be perfect, but there's a lot of times that I'm procrastinating because I'm like, I'm not going to get it right the first time. I'm not going to write it down in that little space until I'm ready and I got it all right. And I'm like, I think that's a good thing for me to know too, is as I'm going into starting to create this content on this actual course, it's like, be messy. It's better than it being blank. And then it'll become clearer as you write through it and move through it. So I think today has been about taking all that information in and now being brave and actually starting to even just put in like what's so simple. If I don't have to put everything in right away, if it just means putting in the chapters and the modules, maybe that's all I do. But it's just like it's one step forward that I didn't have before. So I just got to keep that reminder.
Thank you for that. And I also want to mention, as I started as a teacher, it took me 3 years to become really comfortable in my stuff. I had to learn so much in the beginning. And then as I did it again and again and again, it became so easy. But it was the process of getting to that point. And it took me 3 years. And I remember that my teacher trainer in the beginning said, it's going to take you 3 years to become comfortable. And as I did that, she was right. It took me 3 years to become super comfortable, and where it was really easy. So that's just part of the thing to keep in mind. We're not going to get it perfect, but we're just taking one step at a time. And as we do that, we become more and more comfortable, and it provides that empowering experience.
That was great. Thank you.